session will be facilitated by our guests, Thomas and Linda. And it seems like they are going to tell us how to run uphill.
That's right.
Is that really like running?
You're about to find out.
Okay. So at least Thomas, I see for the first time I see Thomas in person. It's been like a couple of times we had sessions with Thomas online due to the obvious reasons. So I'm very excited to finally see him in person, and now he's got a company. So like I'm very excited to see and to listen what they have to say. So round of applause to our speakers, and let's see.
Yo, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really scary when somebody says, yeah, this is the first time I see him in real life, and earlier on we didn't have him on stage for obvious reasons. Then you think, whoa, what happened there? It was a disease, like a global thing. Anyway, we're going to talk to you today about running uphill, and we have some keywords on the stage, on the screen behind us. And I had this whole thing planned with a cool transition to the next slide, where gradually you would see that it's not just running uphill as a regular title, but there will be like this little joke of the title actually also running uphill a little. Then something happened with the conversion of the slides, and now it looks like this. But you can still read the most important parts, I guess, right? So that is the short title, but what we really want to talk to you about is a much longer thing. So we're in constant battle with other speakers for a long speech title. And for us, it's all about conveying some practical lessons in collaboration from a unique team setup in a complex, safe implementation. Try saying that 3 times quickly. That's what we're talking to you about. And the title's running uphill because it's our favorite analogy. In fact, imagine that you're doing that. It's really annoying to be speaking after Jürgen Appelo opens the conference because, yeah, it's kind of his thing as well. But imagine you're running, right? It's out in the world, and you're enjoying yourself. It's good. It feels nice. You're doing what you want to be doing. This feels like the right thing. Then gradually, it gets a bit more difficult. Right? It feels different. You're doing the same thing, but it takes a bit more energy. Right? Gradually, the slope increases. Your lungs start burning, and you feel it a different way in your legs. So you're still doing the thing. Oh, that takes a lot of work. You can feel where this is going. We also have a stock photo of a different situation. Let's say you're working in an agile team. Maybe you're a product owner, maybe you're actually creating something, or you're a Scrum Master. Anyway, you're collaborating, and it's what you want to be doing, right? As a team, you're bringing things a little bit further. You're putting stickies on the wall. This is what comes up when you look for agile team. You know how that goes. However, maybe in practice it feels a little bit more like this, because before long you realize that the different people in your team also have different agendas. The stakeholders are pulling you in different directions. Priorities keep shifting. And before long it's like the thing that you like doing so much is getting a bit harder. And that also is running uphill. And I'm breathing into my mic. So my idea was to ask you, hey, does this sound familiar? So I had like a really cool Mac emoji, but it looks like this. But hopefully it does sound familiar, because we think that this is something that you run into a lot when you're in a layered environment. So forget the emoji. And when you're in a layered environment, it just means that maybe there's more to you than to your work than your immediate team. Maybe you have a boss, maybe you have a subordinate, maybe you have to align with the marketing team or something like that. Anyway, right? There's a conversation going on. It doesn't mean that you have to be in a safe implementation or in something else that's scaled. It's just talking to multiple people. So the goal of our talk is to help you improve human teamwork in complex domains. And we want to do that by sharing our 2 visions. I'm doing a lot of talking right now, but that's going to stop in a moment. It's really weird to be on stage together and then only one person is saying something.
But you like talking, right?
That is also true. We want to share our 2 visions on some like real-world problems that we were facing in our collaboration. Right, so successes and triumphs are closely tied together, and we want to give you some 3 practical learnings that we had about the way that you can harness disruptive behavior and turn it into something positive for your collaboration. With us so far?
All right.
Go for it.
Maybe I can do some talking now then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will introduce myself. I'm the product owner of the team we're going to talk to you about today. And I am a runner, actually. And I love running so much that I almost do it every day. And Thomas was with a nice introduction saying, "Oh, it feels your lungs are burning," but he doesn't know because he's not a runner. But
I'm a sitter.
Yeah.
That's also good.
Yeah. And I'm a mum of 2 daughters, and my youngest one is 11, and my oldest one is 13 today. It's her birthday, so I just unfortunately, I can't be there, but we FaceTimed this morning, so made that up. So, as I said, we love running, and I love running with my daughters as well. I've been running all my life, so I could really relate to what Jürgen was telling us this morning also. And I've done several marathons and also an ultra marathon of 60 kilometers. And as you can imagine, it takes a lot of discipline and to train for these events, and also a lot of stamina to complete them. And I was really happy to have developed this skill when I started working with Thomas, because it took a lot of discipline and stamina to work with you.
LOL.
So, but no, we had a really interesting journey together, Thomas and I, so we would like to share some of the stories today.
Yes. Well,
Good.
I can't boast any running stories, but I do like to stand on chairs. Maybe you were there when I did this. I sometimes do facilitation work and host events, that sort of stuff. So this was in Kaunas earlier this year. I work as a Scrum Master, as Linda said. And I do that for different companies, and currently for a company called Hierarchis here in Kaunas and in Vilnius, where I'm the Chief Experience Officer, which is fun, but it just means talking to people about teamwork stuff. I, in a super cool twist of events, also have a family holiday or like a birthday to celebrate, because that dude is my father. It's like my parents and my parents-in-law, Vitotas and Rosalia, and my dad's called John. My mom's Marianne. But it's his birthday. He's 71 today. Yeah. Great. This was a condition for us to come to Vilnius in person, because they said, yeah, okay, yeah, great. Then we have to come with you. At least we have to talk. But of course, we're here all about business, and not just any business. We met working at this company, which is one of the largest, maybe the largest.
It's the largest, yeah. I looked it up just now.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, so it's verifiably the largest insurance company in the Netherlands. It's not Akema here in Lithuania, very, very different domain to be working in. So it's Achmea, we're in insurance there.
Yeah. Indeed. So we worked there together. You've seen this before as well, I guess, earlier today. I'm not going to bore you with the whole, explaining the whole framework. What you need to know is that we work in the Agile Release Train. And we're talking about this part here. The release train we work in is comprised of 6 teams, and we report to the release train engineers, and also the stakeholders are the business owners. And we do PI plannings, and those are, we have a roadmap to give us guidance of where we need to go with the planning, and then we have 4 planning sessions per year, and that's how we structure our work at Achmea.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily we're part of that, but the talk is not about this, right? So I want to emphasize it's cool to share stories about SAFe, and we noticed that many people have opinions about it, of course.
Yeah, but so now you know what context we're working in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is the team. And this is actually my colleagues we work with. We have a really nice team. And I've worked with those people since January 2020. And I started as a software tester. Then after 6 months, I became the Scrum Master of the team. And then last September, I became the product owner. I just loved working in the team so much that I wanted to stay. So maybe next time I'll be a business analyst or something. I don't know. But Thomas joined when I became product owner, and he became the Scrum Master. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing the Thomas pose as well, so it's me in the picture over there. Yeah. This was to juxtapose the clinical nature of those like drawings of how an organization looks, because it's in the end it's just people, like it's super nice people actually, but it doesn't always come across that way when you're working with them, and that's nice. So we want to talk to you about that.
Yeah, we have a special team, so.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, getting down to business, we talk about the complex SAFe implementation, that sort of stuff. Why do we think that it's so complex? So I got a couple really cool dashboard numbers for you. As Linda said, we're part of a group of teams. There's 6 sibling teams, and that means that we had to align with a bunch of other teams to do, okay, the right thing. Is nobody waiting for each other? It looks like this. We have a fancy picture of a bunch of train wagons next to each other. We're the red one in the middle, but it doesn't matter. Everybody has to talk to each other, and it only goes one way. However, we also had 8 team members. So the people in the pictures just now, right? You saw them here, super nice. Somebody had their kid with them. Ah, great. Don't bring them to work. But this is what it looks like on paper, right? So this is probably relatable. You have similar teams like this. So we have like business analysts, project managers, test automators, the whole bunch. But that's not all. Within that team, there are 3 factions. And it gets even more interesting, so like sub-teams. You see that list, we're taking ourselves out of the equation here, but if you got the 2 business analysts working together, they have their own little deliverable, then these guys do something, it's 2 gentlemen, and then the testers also have something to do. So within the release train, there's a team, and then there's also the teams within the team. But there's one thing missing. What's missing from this picture? Yes? Can you say it again? Yes, who indeed is creating the software? What's missing? Exactly, 0 software developers, which is, to say the least, interesting if you're building a software product. So here I came into this company and I thought, whoa, where does the work really get done? Whoa, you can't say that, whoa. Well, there's a quick answer to it. There's an external partner company. Something is being outsourced here, right? A giant insurance company. These guys at the bottom, well, that project manager, business consultant, they were not within the same insurance company, but they're part of a different company that does like services for Achmea, that insurance company. And not only are there just a couple of developers, heck no, people, there's multiple teams of developers. So that those 2 dudes sit on top of a pyramid of their own, and they then join our team to be something like a, I don't know, sparring partner for Linda. So that brings me to this. The flow of our work was sort of fragmented a little bit. And I put it here like emoji, but the idea is, of course, it looks a little bit more like this, a familiar model to many of us. Now, why am I saying this? This was to sort of denote the complexity, leads to this. And when we had this, I thought, well, you know what? It's kind of like a bingo card. So this is something you can also do to like get a handle on the complexity of your own situation. This is the team collaboration bingo card of doom trademark. One of these things will make your collaboration a bit more difficult or complex, but if you have multiple of them, each of them influences the other and exacerbates the effects of it. Right? So there's a lot of disturbance on the line if you're not careful. Right? So just pulling one thread will have many difficult side effects. And those side effects are what we want to talk to you about, because we have two cases, 2 painful memories that we want to relate to you. Stuff went badly with us, and we have 2 stories for you.
Very painful memories. Yeah. All right. The first one is our first PI planning together. So I started as the product owner. In the team, it was my 2nd PI planning, and Thomas joined a month later, and then we had the first PI planning together and his first PI planning with Achmea, or maybe ever even.
Yeah, indeed, ever. Yeah, it was my first.
Yeah. So this was in January of this year, and we started with a nice backlog, and Well, it's much longer than this actually. It's it's quite depressing. But we started with ill preparation basically. So we weren't sure. Well, we had the roadmap, so we were a little bit sure of the priorities in the outline. But we for the priority, well, we didn't estimate all the backlog PBIs, and we didn't collaborate with the other teams as well with the alignment. So we didn't know. We weren't sure where we needed the other teams. So let's see. So for us, it was a 2-day session. So for us, it was quite difficult to. Well, our starting point was not ideal anyway. So what we needed to do eventually was obviously put everything into sprints, but we managed in the first day to actually estimate the PBIs and also prioritize it a little bit. But yeah, that was our first day. But I was still quite happy with the result of the first day because I thought we made a lot of progress. And we could pick it up from there for the second day, because the second day is very important. It's a day where the business owners and all the big managers and they come to your team and they listen to what you've planned and ask critical questions, and so that's very so you need to be ready for that day. So the product owner, that was me, or is me, presents the planning. So I was telling them what we came up with and about our stories, what we are going to do for the next 3 months. So I was really quite pleased with the planning. We did the first sprint, and we kind of had an idea what we're going to do the second and the third sprint. So I was presenting it as the planning. But then Thomas, he interrupted me while I was telling my manager, the business owners, all the important people. You interrupted me, Thomas, because you said we didn't have a planning at all. So that was quite surprising. So, so I don't know if anyone knows why Thomas would have said that.
All the bosses in the call, Linda speaking, everything is fine. You wouldn't have done the same. There's some context. There's some context to be had, because that PI planning event, right? So it was mentioned before. It's about looking ahead. We had a lot of time talking about what is it that we should be doing, lots of priorities shifting and that sort of stuff, and then barely before the business owners came by to sort of hear that everything was fine, we sort of barely covered all the topics, but that was then kind of it. And then I heard Linda stand in front of the team, which I thought was heroic, and say, "Oh yeah, we got it all planned." And then I thought, "Whoa, oh my God! If this continues and they really hold us to that, we're gonna get slapped around the room a little bit, proverbially speaking. There's no violence there in Achmea, but I thought this is gonna turn out really badly for us, and I could not believe that my team members would just let that happen. I thought, whoa." You all do that all the time, and nobody says anything, and Linda is falling on her sword. That's not cool. I need to help. Total white guy thinking, of course, but what I saw was actually this. I thought, oh no, if this continues, or it's like a giant train wreck, it's not going to end well. So when Linda finished the story, I said, actually, we didn't really plan that. And then what I thought was, oh, okay, great, now we can talk about it. But what actually happened was, all those business owners visiting the wise man from the east, in this case also actually a bunch of dudes, there's a pattern there, they said, oh, well, sounds like you have something to line about within the team. Bye-bye, click, and they went out of the call, and that was then that. And of course, at that moment, everybody was turning to me.
What happened there, Tom?
What happened there? Yeah, but that was the worst thing, because nobody actually said that. So I thought, okay, now I'm going to get it, right? So I sort of did something uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and nobody was like thinking the same thing apparently, or at least nobody was
No.
saying that. And the worst thing was that people just wanted to continue chatting or something. Oh yeah, okay, then let's look at the next PBI. So then I also had to be the person to say, hey, just a second, I just did something in that call. Maybe it has an impact on you have a feeling about that. And I remember Linda saying, yeah, I have a feeling about that. What was that feeling, Linda?
Well, I was really upset that you did that in front of my boss.
Yeah.
Saying, no, it's nice what you're presenting here, Linda, but you don't have a planning at all. So yeah, that was not very. It was not very good, and I cried a little. But no, but we talked about it later, and he explained to me why he did this, and it was not maybe the best way to do it in front of the business owners and my manager, but yeah, I learned from it also, and yeah, and we're still friends.
Yeah, I think kind of because of that, because I thought, well, if we get through this, then we could turn it into a talk.
Yeah.
We're still talking about turning it into a talk. That's why there's so much meta conversation going on here. But the thing of it was, that was a really uncomfortable moment. I thought, kind of like what Pierre just said in that conversation, right? Like Agile is saying what's really going on, but all the time. And I thought, okay, well, everybody would do that. I came into a place, it's a scaled Agile framework, I have to tell them nothing. This is the first time probably everybody knows better than me as a Scrum Master how the bread gets made. But that was a little bit different. Yeah. So once I did that thing, it was kind of a faux pas, or it felt that way, or it definitely became that thing. We really had to talk about it and follow it up.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the second practical case, as promised. I titled it Singing with the PI Chorus. So this is the next PI planning. Imagine we're 3 months ahead. We had like couples counseling for product owners and Scrum Masters together. We did that ourselves also. The team were a bit more prepared this time, because this time everything was different. What we noticed during that first PI planning was that, hey, you know what? Actually, we have to talk a lot about shifting priorities. Not many things were known. Elena was talking about estimation, but even before you even get to that thing, if that's your thing, then you really have to understand what's the underlying need that needs to be met. Now, this shifted a lot, but we covered a whole bunch of that. You saw that we have 2 business analysts on the team, and they really did their work, so we all came into the talks prepared so that we didn't have to have an open conversation. Because we noticed those PI planning days, it's not like one conversation, like kind of a sprint planning where there's something to be decided. In fact, the decisions have been made already. This is just tying the loose ends together and talking about dependencies, which was then how we went into that call. Then something happened. Yeah, we had a celebrity guest, no, unfortunately, but while we were in the team sessions, so there's multiple conversations during those PI planning days, we got a guest in the call. It was the business owner, quite literally the business owner, the director of the company that does the outsourced development. The
big boss.
The big boss.
Yeah.
He also joined in and started joining the conversation. And then he said, hey, why are we working on this? And then the business owner, or sorry, the analyst told us, well, given the fact that we have talked about this and this and this, and it aligns with these and these goals, this is what we will do, and we've sort of narrowed it down to this first step. And that dude said, no, that's just wrong, Selma. He said, that's not how it works. And he said, that's not good. So then all of a sudden, everything was up in the air again. Team was like shutting down a little bit, like, oh, okay, what's next? How is this gonna go? So, of course, I did something awkward. Given this interruption, like, imagine this was on your team, what would you do if someone like that came by, did that? Do you have a question for them? This is good. One man says, ask why. It's already like 100 points. Okay, let's go with that. Ask why. Yeah. That's fantastic. I did not do that. No. That is, of course, cooler minds prevail. My mind was not that cool. I thought, this is not going to happen to us. We did all that prep work. The team worked mega hard, and finally we're aligned. Damn it, all the 3 factions pointing in the same direction. And now the boss of 2 of the dudes whose job it is to do their work in like in his place, is coming to shit on all our plans and work. I said, no, thank you. I sort of said, hey, I think maybe this is not really the right time to talk about it. We have settled on this already, but it's like good feedback. But perhaps we can consider like respecting the work of the colleague of who did the business analysis. That did not go over well with that gentleman. He owns a business, and you know that comes with a certain bravado, I think. I'm saying it for him. He's, of course, a very dedicated professional, but in that moment, it went over quite badly, and what he did was he took it quite personally, and also gave it back quite personally to the person who said, hey, maybe not now. That was me.
Yeah, he's quite out there, right? Yeah, and he doesn't like, he's not used to getting spoken back to either, I guess, and I never do that. And the team doesn't do that either. So yeah, it was really uncomfortable, but he's done that before, and there's another business owner who does that as well. So it's very disruptive, especially when you know well prepared, not like the first time, but when you're well prepared and someone breaks in within your planning, it's quite disturbing. So yeah, what I thought was, why does he do this, and why does he do this now?
Yes, like
yeah.
that gentleman said over there.
Yeah, I didn't ask it, but I thought it. Yeah, but yeah, the situation was awkward, and it was not very nice. It escalated a bit, so it was they were a bit fighting. You left the call as well.
Yeah, after
I remember,
that,
yeah,
something similar happened.
Yeah.
Okay, then everybody was back to business as usual.
Yeah, yeah.
I said,
but it made me think about what happened later on, and I thought maybe they don't. Those people, they don't have a place where they can voice their concerns or their ideas or what they think is important. So what I did after this incident was set up a bi-weekly and a monthly meeting with the other one. So I talk on a regular basis, and there are informal talks about planning, priorities, what concerns them, and I share what we have prepared already, and so we discuss, and that really worked out, because the last few plannings, we had a session on Tuesday, which we actually did in one day. This Tuesday, yeah. I was traveling to Vilnius on Wednesday, so I said, look, you guys, we have to do it in one day now. We don't have 2 days. So, but it went well. So, but the planning sessions are a lot smoother now. Yeah.
Now that I'm gone.
Yeah.
But rapid feedback here was the key. So Linda followed that up and like created a platform for these people to like, okay, yeah, sure, tell me, okay, good. And then things could move ahead. But we did another thing. There's no feedback loop attached to these PI plannings. It's just like a confidence vote at the end, and then everybody high fives, and there's music in the call. Then you're supposed to go on with your work. But we added, together with my colleague Scrum Master, who was going to be replacing me afterwards, she was already working with me, and I said, hey, maybe we can tack on sort of a retrospective type thing, just to see how people were doing. Because I had a particular feeling about it. It caused upheaval in the call, and people were not really speaking up anymore. But it's better to measure that sort of stuff, right? So we wanted to inspect the feelings and the takeaways that people had. Sent out a little a survey just after, to ask people what was the important takeaway that you have from that meeting, and what would you be interested in talking about? And independently of each other, people said, yeah, whoa, it was like mega disruptive that dude came in, and we don't know what to do, and now everything seems to be moving backwards again. We use that as input for a conversation, retrospective conversation, and the outcome of that went to, we are after all in a layered environment, to the release train engineer, so the one of the people that was hierarchically above us, so to speak. And we said, hey, you know what, this is what the team gives back, perhaps you can bring that forward to the owner of that business. And that way we wanted to make use of the more symmetrical warfare. Warfare is the wrong term, but like the conversation was not really symmetrical there, because imagine it's like, I don't know, like Leo, the boss of Agile Lietuva coming in to tell you, hey, you're not doing your work right, or something like that. You want to make use of the right level. And the result was that that guy was asked not to join the calls anymore. Also
so
a big
it's a
deal
lot
for him.
quieter and it's nice,
Yeah. Yeah, and that also led to like outcomes. He started calling people and that sort of stuff. Not me. But yeah, anyway. It was a whole big thing. But he's not there anymore, and now he has his own place to talk.
I deal with him twice on a bi-weekly basis, and that's good. I keep him from the team.
Perks of being a PO. Now, the clock is ticking mercilessly away. We promised you a couple of key learnings. Yeah, we also have 2 clickers, right? To talk about alignment between the team. This was our beautiful emoji. One of them is supposed to be Linda, the other me. And we wanted to, like, from these little stories, it's really an experience report, but we want to tell you, okay, for us, we learned to do a couple of things. Like I said at the beginning, make that bingo card of doom to see what might be interfering with your collaboration, right? So 3 factions and doing layered work one after another makes it less transparent to see what's going on, and people have different goals and perspectives, that sort of stuff. And that partner company, that turns out, it's kind of a black box or even a Pandora's box, because once you start opening up what's going on there, then you get all that stuff on top of you. So we have to work on that. So make that transparent. You can draw this like really easily. You don't need any Lego bricks or anything. Just make that for yourself, and then you can see, hey, maybe I put my attention more into this direction or that direction. My thing is always like speaking up in a moment, as you now have heard painfully, never going to work with me. But I think that's really good, but it only works. The effect only gets found if you then build in a follow-up loop. This may not sound like rocket science to you, but because there's always stuff going on, right? The order of the day still continues, and you have the next thing to be working on. Oh, there's another meeting, and you probably also have to talk to those people, and that person is off on Thursday afternoon, etc., etc. It becomes hard to do that follow-up loop, like Linda did with that business owner, like giving him a platform. And I should have called that dude afterwards, but I also didn't do that. But if you do them both, they will be reinforcing. So limit the amount of stuff that you say and don't follow up on.
Yeah, and the last one we have, that you have to be aware that there's different perspectives in the team. So you have different expectations, and it's good to talk about the different expectations. It's a risk and also a strength. A risk if you don't talk about it. A strength if you use the different viewpoints to move forward. So make sure it's nicely put, leaning into your role, but
how do you do that? Because how did you do that with Renske, my successor in my role that you're now working with?
The last PI planning, so we had a lot of, I was really defending the backlog and the things I wanted us to do, and she was protecting the team, and we kind of clashed, but it was a good thing. So we had a good discussions and a good outcome.
But then you knew what the other one was like doing, right? And what was for. So when we started out doing that, we didn't really have that, or both had assumed something about the other, even implicitly. So Linda always has repeatedly told me, people assume too much too quickly, and that's really true. So you can already now know that you're assuming too much about something, and like doing stuff like a product backlog refinement or something where you dive into the topic of your work, that's to challenge your assumptions and bring them to the front. But it's also very valuable to make transparent the assumptions underlying the work that you do together. So in the interpersonal level.
Yes. Shall I do it? You do.
Yeah, we thought, okay, how to end this? Hey, thank you, good luck. Bye. Good luck running up. Yeah, we thought, you know what? You're probably all in versions of this sort of stuff yourself, and there's a lot of these stories coming out. But it was really beneficial to be able to talk them, and we're very thankful to have a giant stage to do that on. But let's do that in a pub as well, right? Or with your colleagues. Better yet, call your product owner after this, okay? Is anyone here with their product owner? No one is here with their product? Are there any product owners in the room? Okay, I see 2, 3, great. Any Scrum Masters? I should have done this at the beginning. Yeah, I love you guys. Okay, great. Well, call your counterpart, right? And see, hey, are we giving enough attention to each other? Yeah. Because that really works out. Alignment will make you run faster uphill.
Absolutely. All right.
Thanks for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Time for questions. And I know we do have a few questions online, but before that, any questions on site? All right.
Did I understand correctly that for the first planning, you did not invite your partner or actually your dev company?
Did we not invite the other company?
Yeah. You were planning just with your analysts, yeah, everything. And like time estimates, complexity, and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And dev, or your partner, was not invited in that planning session.
That's good that you ask it. They were, not that guy, right? So the gentleman that we just spoke about, who is, of course, a passionate professional in his own right? I don't mean to take anything away from that. He's just the owner of that company. But these people, they're sitting on top of the pyramid in that company. So they themselves had a sort of layered system.
Yeah, but that guy who said that, no, it is not what I'm expecting, I understood that he was the stakeholder, or at least someone who pays for what you're doing. But as well, I understood that at the beginning, you had your team of 8 people, and then for the devs, you had 0. That means, when you explained later, there was someone, an organization, who was doing something for you, like programming or something. Were those invited for your planning?
I want to give an answer, but how does... Were they invited, those developers that work at our partner company, for the PI planning?
No. No.
Why do you ask? Yeah. What would you suggest?
No, we can speak after this a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's a problem. We don't really get to talk to them.
We have a lot of discussions. We had a lot of discussions about that as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, we have an online question about the tooling part of what you did. And we saw the screenshot from DevOps Azure. But is there anything else you would recommend to make this PI planning or overall problem solution better from the tooling perspective?
What kind of tools do we use?
Visibility, communication, facilitation. Don't tell me it's email.
We only use the DevOps.
Yeah, this is really what we work with.
This is what we use.
I tried to get the team to like use Miro, which I think is super intuitive. But people are like, what's this kind of hippie bullshit? I don't want to do that. I have to scroll so much. Dying inside, of course. No, I think we used it a couple of times to talk about the broader, the bigger picture. So tool-wise, this makes things really specific, but it also can bore you too much, or you can focus too easily on something really specific. And for that kind of event, a broader perspective is good. But we found nothing that fits within this ecosystem of Azure DevOps. There is, of course, what is that board called that you use with the other product owners, the priorities board or something.
Yeah, but it's also DevOps.
Yeah, but
it's a program board.
The program board.
Yeah.
So it's not pictured here. There's also a program board, but the problem there is it's not directly connected to this stuff, right?
No, we make different features in the program board to have an overview of the train, the Agile train, release train.
Okay. Yeah. We have another one. How to make PI planning more effective and deliver successful outputs?
Make it more effective. Yeah, it's a very broad. Well, I think the key is preparation. And that's what I found this time around as well. Just make sure you talk to everybody in advance and really have your priorities straight and talk to developers, estimate everything, and
yeah, if that's your thing.
Preparation.
It's not for planning. PI planning is like you're all musicians on stage, but it's not a jazz band. Everybody's feeding off each other, and the goal is like maybe a discovery. It's an orchestra, and everybody has to wait to play their part. As long as you realize that, then you know what you can happen. So the planning has to happen beforehand.
Yeah.
I think.
So thank you a lot. And we have little gifts for you to thank you for the speech.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for joining and staying. Super nice.
Thank you, guys.
5 minutes, don't be late.